The 1966 United States quarter dollar is part of an important transitional period in American coinage history, making it especially interesting to collectors even in untitled, likely meaning untarnished or uncirculated condition. This coin was issued during a time when the Coinage Act of 1965 had recently removed silver from circulating quarters due to rising metal costs. As a result, the 1966 quarter is composed of a copper-nickel clad structure, with a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper and nickel, rather than the 90% silver used in earlier quarters. The obverse front of the coin features the iconic profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, facing left, with the word Liberty inscribed above his head and the motto, "In God We Trust," appearing to the left. The year 1966 is displayed at the bottom. On the reverse back, the coin displays a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing readiness for war and desire for peace, respectively. Above the eagle appears the Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," meaning out of many one, reflecting the unity of the states, while the inscription, United States of America, arches along the top and quarter dollar is written below. One notable feature of 1966 quarters is the absence of mint marks. From 1965 through 1967, the U.S. Mint intentionally removed mint marks to discourage coin hoarding during a nationwide coin shortage. Therefore, all 1966 quarters look identical regardless of where they were produced. In untitled or uncirculated condition, meaning the coin has not been used in everyday transactions and retains its original mint luster, it can be more desirable to collectors, though it is generally not rare due to the very high mintage, over 821 million coins produced. Its value typically ranges from face value up to a few dollars depending on condition, with higher grade examples, such as those graded MS-65 or above by professional grading services, fetching more in the numismatic market. While it lacks the intrinsic silver value of pre-1965 quarters, the 1966 quarter remains historically significant as part of the first generation of modern clad U.S. coins, representing a shift in economic policy and minting practices. Collectors often seek pristine examples with strong strike quality, minimal contact marks, and full luster, sometimes even searching for rare errors like double dies or off-center strikes, which can significantly increase value. Overall, the 1966 Liberty, "In God We Trust," and "e pluribus unum" quarter dollar stands as a symbol of mid-20th century American coinage reform and continues to be a modest, yet meaningful piece for both beginner and experienced collectors. Next top. The 1971 United States quarter dollar is a representative example of modern American coinage from the early 1970s, produced at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small d mint mark located on the obverse of the coin to the right of George Washington's tied hair ribbon. Like all Washington quarters minted after the Coinage Act of 1965, the 1971 D quarter is composed of a copper-nickel clad structure, consisting of an inner core of pure copper bonded between two outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silvery appearance while containing no actual silver. The obverse design, created by John Flanagan, features a left-facing portrait of Washington with the word Liberty prominently displayed above his head, the national motto, "In God We Trust," positioned to the left, and the date 1971 below. The reverse side continues the classic heraldic eagle design used on quarters from 1932 until 1998, showing a powerful eagle with wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons to symbolize strength and readiness, while an olive branch beneath represents peace. Above the eagle appears the Latin motto, "e pluribus unum," meaning out of many one, signifying the unity of the United States, while United States of America curves along the upper rim and quarter dollar is inscribed at the bottom. The 1971 D quarter was struck in large quantities, with a mintage exceeding 258 million coins, making it very common in circulation and not considered rare in most grades. However, coins in uncirculated condition, those that retain their original mint luster, sharp details, and show no signs of wear, are more desirable to collectors, especially if they exhibit strong strike quality and minimal surface marks. Higher grade examples, certified by professional grading services, such as MS-65 or above, can carry a modest premium, while typical circulated examples are usually worth only their face value of 25 cents. Despite its lack of intrinsic precious metal value, the 1971 D quarter holds significance as part of the long-running Washington Quarter Series and reflects the economic realities of its time, when rising silver prices had permanently shifted U.S. coinage toward base metal compositions. Collectors sometimes search for varieties or mint errors in this issue, including double dies, off-center strikes, or coins with unusual toning, which can increase value depending on rarity and condition. The coin's inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum tie it firmly to American identity and ideals, while its durable clad composition has allowed many examples to survive decades of circulation. Overall, the 1971 D Washington quarter dollar is a common yet historically grounded coin that appeals primarily to beginners, date and mint collectors, and those interested in the evolution of U.S. currency, serving as a tangible link to early 1970s America and the continuation of a design that honored George Washington for generations. Next top. The 1977 D United States quarter dollar is a standard issue coin from the long-running Washington Quarter Series and represents a typical example of late 20th century American circulating coinage, struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark visible on the obverse side just to the right of the tied hair ribbon on George Washington's portrait. This coin continues the copper-nickel clad composition that had been in use since the Coinage Act of 1965, meaning it contains no silver and instead consists of a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a durable, silvery appearance suitable for everyday circulation. The obverse design, created by John Flanagan, features a left-facing profile of George Washington, with the word Liberty boldly inscribed above his head, the national motto, In God We Trust, placed to the left, and the year 1977 displayed at the bottom. This design has remained one of the most recognizable images in American coinage history. On the reverse, the coin displays the traditional heraldic eagle design used from 1932 through 1998, showing a strong eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows in its talons to represent military strength, while an olive branch below symbolizes peace, and above the eagle is the Latin motto E Pluribus Unum, meaning out of many one, emphasizing the unity of the states. The inscriptions, United States of America, and quarter dollar complete the reverse design along the rim. The 1977 D quarter was produced in very large numbers, with a mintage of over 256 million coins, making it extremely common and widely available today in circulated condition, where it typically holds only its face value of 25 cents. However, in uncirculated condition, often what collectors mean by untitled or untouched, the coin retains its original mint luster, crisp details, and absence of wear, which can make it more appealing, especially to collectors assembling high-grade sets of Washington quarters. Coins graded at higher mint state levels, such as MS-65 or above by professional grading organizations, can command higher prices, particularly if they exhibit strong strike quality, minimal contact marks, and attractive natural toning. While the coin itself is not rare, collectors may still search for error varieties within this issue, including double die errors, off-center strikes, clip planchets, or other minting anomalies, which can significantly increase the coin's desirability and value depending on their rarity and condition. The absence of precious metal content means that its value is tied primarily to condition and collector interest rather than intrinsic metal worth. But its historical importance lies in its role as part of the stable clad coinage system adopted in the mid-1960s and used for decades thereafter. The inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum reflect enduring national values and mottos, reinforcing the symbolic identity of the United States, while the continued use of Washington's image highlights his lasting legacy in American history. Overall, the 1977 D Washington quarter dollar is a common yet meaningful coin that serves as a reliable piece of everyday currency history, offering collectors an accessible entry point into numismatics and a tangible connection to the economic and cultural landscape of the United States during the late 1970s. Next top. The 1987 P United States quarter dollar is an interesting issue within the long-running Washington quarter series, notable not only for its design and composition, but also for the unique circumstances of its release, as it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and carries the P Mint mark, which appears on the obverse of the coin just to the right of the ribbon tying the hair of George Washington. Like all quarters produced after the Coinage Act of 1965, the 1987 P quarter is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, consisting of an inner copper core bonded between outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving the coin its familiar silvery color while containing no precious silver. The obverse design, originally created by John Flanagan, features a left-facing profile of George Washington with liberty inscribed above, "In God We Trust" placed to the left, and the date 1987 below, all rendered in a clean and balanced layout that had become iconic in American coinage. The reverse continues the classic heraldic eagle motif used on Washington quarters from 1932 until the design change in 1999, depicting a strong eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows to symbolize strength and readiness, while holding an olive branch to represent peace, with the motto "E Pluribus Unum" positioned above the eagle and the inscriptions, "United States of America" and quarter dollar, surrounding the design along the rim. What makes the 1987 P quarter particularly noteworthy is that it was not released into general circulation through traditional channels. Instead, quarters from both Philadelphia and Denver in 1987 were produced primarily for inclusion in official U.S. Mint uncirculated coin sets. As a result, fewer high-quality examples entered everyday use, making uncirculated specimens more common than heavily circulated ones, yet still somewhat special to collectors because they were originally distributed as part of collectible sets rather than loose change. Despite this unusual distribution method, the total mintage still exceeded 582 million coins for the Philadelphia issue, so it is not considered rare in absolute terms. In circulated condition, a 1987 P quarter typically remains worth only its face value of 25 cents, but in uncirculated condition, often what collectors mean when referring to untitled, untouched, or mint state coins, it can carry a modest premium, especially in higher grades such as MS65 or above, where coins display strong luster, sharp details, and minimal surface marks. Collectors often examine these coins closely for strike quality, luster, and any signs of mint errors, including double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws, which can significantly increase value if present. The absence of silver content means that its worth is determined by collector demand rather than intrinsic metal value. Yet its historical significance lies in its role during a time when the U.S. Mint was increasingly catering to collectors through special sets and packaging. The inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and "E Pluribus Unum" continue to reflect enduring American ideals, while the enduring image of George Washington underscores his lasting importance as a national symbol. Overall, the 1987 P Washington quarter dollar stands out as a slightly different issue in an otherwise consistent series, appealing to numismatists for its distribution history, solid craftsmanship, and representation of late 20th century U.S. coinage practices, making it a modest yet meaningful piece for both beginner and advanced collectors alike.